As the crimson light of the sun slowly rose on the horizon, the serene stillness of a cool morning spread across the valleys. Birds sang sweet melodies from the branches. A stream gently meandered through the landscape, and cows and sheep grazed peacefully in the lush green meadows. Adam's sons, Habil and Qabil, stood in two distant spots, filling the morning's tranquility with their own inner turmoil. Habil carefully tended to his sheep, grooming them with care and softly humming a tune as he worked. Meanwhile, Qabil was harvesting his crops, his face tense with frustration. His hands grasped the wheat stalks roughly, and his gaze frequently shifted toward his brother. Habil noticed the gloom in his brother's silence. Approaching him, he spoke in a gentle voice. Habil said,
"My brother, what troubles you so deeply? On such a beautiful morning, why can't you find peace?"
Qabil paused for a moment, then turned to his brother. The first sparks of anger flickered in his eyes. Qabil replied,
"Habil, don't you see how easy everything is for you? Our Father's love, God's grace, it's always you who receives it. Everyone looks at you as if they're gazing at a star. But me? No one even spares me a glance."
Habil felt the pain in his brother's words. Instead of arguing, he chose to speak with compassion. Habil said,
"My brother, our Father's love is equal for both of us. God's grace depends on the purity of our hearts. If you let go of your anger and look within, you too will find the same grace."
Qabil listened to his brother's words, but his jealousy was too deep to be soothed by Habil's kindness. He lowered his gaze and muttered,
"Perhaps your very existence is a burden to me. Perhaps it's a burden I need to lift."
One day, God commanded Adam's sons to present offerings to him. This would not only be an act of worship, but also a test of their intentions and faith. As the crimson light of the sun slowly climbed the mountain peaks, the two brothers began preparing their offerings. Habil selected the finest and healthiest of his sheep. He gently touched the animal, his eyes filled with gratitude. Habil whispered to himself,
"O Lord, I offer this sacrifice for your pleasure. You alone know what is in my heart. I pray you accept it."
Meanwhile, Qabil was gathering his crops. However, his selections were haphazard and careless. His anger cast a shadow over his intentions. As Qabil looked at the basket of crops he had collected, he muttered angrily. Qabil said,
"What does it matter? No matter what I do, God will choose Habil again, but this time they won't overlook my efforts so easily."
The brothers placed their offerings on the altar. After a while, a fire descended from the heavens and consumed Habil's sacrifice, but Qabil's crops remained untouched. This sight ignited Qabil's jealousy into a blazing fury. When Qabil saw that his offering was rejected, his rage erupted. He stormed toward Habil and shouted. Qabil said,
"Why? Why was your offering accepted and mine was not? What kind of justice is this? Why does God love you more?"
Habil calmly replied,
"My brother, God accepts only the offerings of those who are righteous. Perhaps your offering was rejected because of the flaws in your intention. This is a warning. Instead of being angry, you should look into your own heart."
Qabil listened to his brother's words, but his anger only deepened. Clenching his fists, he left the altar. Night fell, and the sky was filled with stars. Habil sat beneath a tree, gazing on the heavens above. His heart was at peace, but this tranquility would not last for long. From the shadows, the sound of Qabil's labored breathing could be heard. In his hand, he held a large stone. Qabil muttered to himself,
"Tonight, it all ends. If I eliminate him, his shadow will no longer loom over me. Our Father, Allah, everyone will finally see me."
Qabil slowly approached Habil. Hearing the sound of footsteps, Habil turned around. Habil said,
"My brother, where are these dark thoughts leading you? If you believe that killing me will bring you peace, you are mistaken."
Qabil shouted, "Be silent."
"Even your words suffocate me. I will end this and free myself from this curse."
Qabil raised the stone and struck his brother, ending his life. The silence of the night was broken by the cries of crows.